for all the examples we've seen. Him suing Showtime for $300 million, him foreclosing on multiple properties, him losing on investments on multiple properties, him buying a lot of depreciating assets, and him all of a sudden looking to box very much in the year 2026. Floyd losing money Mayweather, as the chatter says, is in dire straits financially.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
Some people will say, you know, he's suing now because of his gambling habits, which was not hidden. It was not a secret. He would post, not Teddy Atlas talk about anything that wasn't out there. He would post some of his tickets, his betting tickets that he bet, and they were large bets. And so some people say, oh yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever.
Previously celebrated as one of the richest and most accomplished athletes in the history of sports, Floyd Mayweather is now dealing with major legal troubles that may harm both his public image and professional legacy. Across the boxing community, many fans and insiders have responded with disappointment, anger, and growing concern as the controversy continues to develop. In addition, new reports indicate he may also face possible legal issues involving Manny Pacquiao after remarks he recently made regarding their past fight and long-standing rivalry.
We are not one of these sick people, and I call them sick, I'm not afraid to say what I feel, that's in their underwear in grandmother's basement or wherever the freak they are, taking pot shot at people because of their misery, because of their misfortune, because they're in a bad place. Shame on you. And shame on the people out there. I know that there's some of them, everyone knows I don't really read that internet unless somebody shows me specifically some stuff, and I saw some of the stuff. I didn't want to see any more, so I told them, don't show me any more. But I saw enough to see what was out there. People taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point, and now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great.
Recent reports have raised questions about how stable Floyd Mayweather's enormous wealth truly is, with allegations involving tax liens, foreclosures, unpaid debts, and claims that several of his assets, including luxury properties and his private jet, are heavily financed. Additional reports suggest that creditors have been attempting to recover overdue payments connected to jet fuel and various other expenses. Beyond the financial controversy, Mayweather also sparked criticism after referring to his upcoming Manny Pacquiao matchup as an exhibition, despite reportedly accepting money tied to a professional fight agreement, a situation that could potentially put him in breach of contract terms.
The fight weekend of Fundora and Thurman. Apparently he did an interview, said that it was an exhibition, that these guys didn't have anything to prove, that their legends were already set in stone, and that it would be an exhibition. He wasn't sure if it was going to be at the Sphere. Apparently, that is not true. According to a Boxing Scene article that interviewed Jazz Mathur, the CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, said that, yes, the fight is contracted for the Sphere, booked at the Sphere, scheduled at the Sphere for September 19th. It is booked as a professional fight, not as an exhibition. It was never booked as an exhibition, which makes sense because Netflix got behind it, and I would assume that they would not want an exhibition. We said the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, we said that this fight has to be a real fight and not an exhibition because, one, Netflix is involved, two, Manny Pacquiao wants that get back, and two, also just betting lines. It's a huge aspect of this sport.
On Twitter, Mike Carpenter openly criticized Floyd Mayweather's recent remarks, saying his statements appeared to contradict Netflix's official announcement regarding the Manny Pacquiao fight. Carpenter argued that if Mayweather keeps referring to the event as an exhibition after allegedly agreeing to a professional contest, he could risk breaching the contract terms. Wade Plemon also shared his opinion, claiming that after reportedly receiving signing bonuses and advance payments connected to a professional bout, Mayweather's choice to describe it as an exhibition creates the impression that both Netflix and Pacquiao's camp are being misled. Plemon additionally stated that Mayweather had previously faced similar criticism during the Logan Paul event, where some accuse the promotion of using another person's name and image to help generate millions of dollars in revenue.
Something's completely off because you got one person saying, this is a real fight. You got the promotion saying, this is a real fight. You got Floyd Mayweather saying, no, this is an exhibition. There's two things that are happening here. Either somebody messed up in paperwork or in communication or in some form of getting this fight together, misspoke to one of these guys, or Floyd Mayweather is trying to scam Netflix. That is the only two things that can be possible here. Because we then get the report, as of yesterday, that Floyd Mayweather has already taken a cash advance payment of his purse for the upcoming Manny Pacquiao rematch on Netflix, despite it currently being in jeopardy. I don't even know how that's possible. Who gave him a cash advance before they even got to the fight? I understand like paying some up front to secure the fight, but paying everything? Maybe it's not what it is. Maybe the cash advance is like...
Teddy Atlas described the situation as disappointing, saying that many professional athletes run into problems because they often lack the proper guidance and financial management around them. In his view, that could be exactly what happened to Floyd Mayweather, even after earning enormous wealth and achieving incredible success during his legendary boxing career.
They risk everything. They risk so much. And then everything they took the risk for sometimes is lost. Whether it was Joe Louis, whoever. It never becomes not sad or unfortunate to hear. Never. It's look, you could say it's their responsibility. It is. It is. You got to know what's going on. But there are also sharks in this business, in any business. And sometimes these athletes, I wouldn't even specify fighters. We're talking about fighters. But you hear it in football, Bud. You were around it. You hear it in basketball. Sometimes these athletes, they don't have the right people around them to look out for them. To properly educate them, to properly advise them. Hey.
Jonah Renitz, a controversial entrepreneur and longtime associate of Floyd Mayweather Jr., has frequently been mentioned as a key figure connected to overseeing parts of Mayweather's post-boxing business and real estate dealings, according to statements shared by Fight Opinion on X. Reports indicate that Manny Pacquiao's camp is now exploring possible legal action against Mayweather regarding the planned Netflix fight event. Sources also claim the controversy could draw increased attention not only to Floyd Mayweather, but also to Renitz, who has reportedly dealt with legal troubles of his own in previous years. The disagreement largely focuses on the status of the fight, with Pacquiao's side reportedly maintaining that the matchup is a legitimate professional bout rather than an exhibition. Because Mayweather is said to have already agreed to the contract, Pacquiao's team believes the event should proceed as an officially sanctioned professional contest.
Real fight. Is that what he's feeling? But he signed a real fight.
So it's for sure.
Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight.
Real fight. Okay. Yeah, because I know he said.
I want to fight an exhibition.
No exhibition. It's either real fight or nothing.
Yeah, it's a real fight. Yeah.
The Sphere still in Las Vegas.
That's the contract that he signed. I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so it's still happening then.
He has to.
Joe Rogan highlighted that Floyd Mayweather spent more than a decade as arguably the biggest attraction in American boxing, creating a legacy that made him one of the most famous athletes in the sport around the world. He referenced Mayweather's win over Manny Pacquiao in what was viewed at the time as the most financially successful fight in boxing history, a matchup that drew massive global attention and generated enormous revenue. Rogan explained that Mayweather's success inside the ring came from his elite defensive skills, exceptional hand speed, precise timing, and advanced boxing IQ, all of which helped him retire undefeated during his professional career. He also mentioned that the Money May persona became a huge part of Mayweather's brand, boosting both his fame and his ability to make millions through fights, sponsorships, and business opportunities beyond boxing.
Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather. Changed the whole thing.
He knew what he was doing.
He definitely did. It would have been an interesting fight had he fought Pacquiao when he was younger, in his prime. It would have been a very different
Would have been
fight.
a more interesting fight.
Much more different.
Because
Much more difficult
any
fight.
go-forward physical warrior like Pacquiao is going to wear down.
Right, exactly.
And any brilliant counterpuncher like Floyd is going to retain more.
Yeah.
So he did.
Yeah, it would have been much more interesting when they were younger. Also, the fact that Pacquiao fought him with a bum shoulder. That was a disaster, too.
Money talks.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess he was faced with this thing, legacy, or, I mean, it was the biggest pay-per-view of all time in boxing, correct?
I believe so.
I believe so, and I think it was like 4 million buys or something crazy like that.
It was huge.
So, like, what?
Floyd Mayweather has always been recognized for proudly displaying his enormous wealth, frequently spending millions on luxury watches, exotic cars, private jets, and even sharing photos of massive checks as though the money meant very little to him. For many years, he created the image of someone untouchable, financially invincible, and completely unaffected by money or consequences. However, things have recently become far more complicated after Mayweather filed a lawsuit against his former broadcasting partner, Showtime, along with former executive Steven Espinoza, alleging that he is owed hundreds of millions of dollars. The situation reveals a sharp contrast between Mayweather's public image of endless wealth and the serious financial and contractual disputes taking place behind closed doors, showing that even one of the richest and most accomplished athletes in the world can still encounter major legal and business problems when huge sums of money and complex agreements are involved.
18 mil retired. I know some people gonna be like, well, you didn't. You said I didn't want to say I was active because that's normal. Right. I said I wasn't activated. I knew what I said. So a lot of times I'm like, oh, you didn't say it right. I know I said it right. I know what I said. I know what I posted.
I don't really care how much you make, bro. I feel like writing an $18 million check has to feel some sort of way.
That's crazy.
I didn't want to do it. Of course, I'm like, who wants to give up basically 20 million?
You wrote 18,180,000,000.00. Like, bro, that's crazy.
You know, I got huge deals on the table, so I'm always making shake.
What's the biggest thing you got working right now?
I can show y'all this. Come here. So come here.
Dude, what is it?
Take this along, okay? So right here.
That's crazy.
I just keep stuff on the low.
Yeah, my math don't work like that. My math.
So now,
50 Cent has claimed that much of the criticism directed at Floyd Mayweather comes from his intense obsession with money and the way he constantly speaks about his massive wealth. Mayweather, widely regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time, captured world championships in 5 different weight divisions and finished his professional career undefeated before later transitioning into exhibition bouts following his retirement in 2017. Over the years, he became known for regularly displaying his fortune and extravagant lifestyle, which turned him into one of the most divisive figures in sports. Many fans openly admitted they wanted to see him lose or struggle. However, Mayweather successfully used that negativity to his advantage. The constant attention, whether supportive or critical, helped drive pay-per-view numbers and increase his earnings through the popularity of his Money May persona and larger-than-life public image. By turning controversy into business, he became one of the most profitable and heavily discussed athletes in boxing history.